Ernie, good afternoon.
Hello, Alon. Good afternoon.
Good to see you, my friend.
And
How
good to
are
see you.
you?
Well, I'm fine. And you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much. How's your lovely wife, Jacqueline, doing?
She's great. She's out now. She went to her sister and do some shopping and see some art in Den Bosch.
Nice. I
Yeah.
see she takes good care of you because you look well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are an industry legend. For those that don't know you, yeah, we announced you as a industry innovator, but maybe you could introduce yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm Ernie Romers. For those who don't know me yet, back in 1998, I started a page. It's a simple internet page with links to all the information I could find about watches, because that was my passion at the time. And slowly that link page grew with forums to a website known as What You Seek. And well, I worked for 16 years, traveled to watch fairs and watch shows and meets with colleagues, etc., and brands, of course. And then in 2014, I sold it to a Canadian company. And then I retired from the actual world scene. But behind the scenes, I'm still looking at watches on a daily basis, of course, and still passionate, and I'm still loving watches a lot, as you know, because, well, from time to time we meet and we speak about watches, and sometimes I even buy a watch at your place.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the trust. You do. And you're actually very modest. Ernie is an industry pioneer. For those that don't know, think about 1998. Internet was coming up. Who the hell knew what fora were? A forum, a digital forum, multiples fora. And I don't think you founded the first one, but I might dare to say that at the peak, at the heyday, What You Seek was the biggest.
Yeah.
And we also call you an industry innovator, not because you started such a leading and prominent watch forum, but you actually created a hybrid model because you were selling watches as well back in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you. I'll show you what I put on for the wrist check. Yeah. And what a lot of people I don't think know, that you were working 24/7 literally, because you were a principal at a high school, correct?
First I was a teacher, so I was a school teacher.
Yeah.
And I became a team leader. I never was the principal, but I was
Okay.
a leader
Coordinator.
and part of the direction of a school for children with special needs.
Yeah.
And you are right, it was 24/7, and I always told my friends and my family that I had two full-time jobs because, well, basically that's what it was. Where What You Seek was mostly in the early mornings, in the evenings, in the weekends, and even on a holiday. When we went on a holiday, I always told my wife in the beginning there was not a lot of Wi-Fi available when you traveled, but I always needed some internet connection to keep on working because, well, if you run a forum, it is 24/7, of course, so it never stops. So yeah,
I definitely want to do a deep dive after our wrist check, after the Ace list questions. I want to learn why you love watches, why you started What You Seek, why you decided to sell. Do you still use What You Seek today? Do you believe there's a future for fora? So many questions, and we have a lot of viewers. They have a lot of questions. We always try to keep a session at 45, max 60 minutes. So we have a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
I had the honor at the last episode to record the Ace List live at the Conservatorium Hotel. With Lita Asher, I chose an elegant, beautiful suite. For you, because you're such a jolly guy, you're a nice guy, you love the good life, I chose to go and sit at the Tunes bar at the Conservatorium Hotel, literally opposite Ace and Dik. So I chose this environment for you
Thank you.
because you love the good life and you're always smiling and you're always up for fun. So thank you for the Conservatorium Hotel to host us. We literally have the bar to ourselves. So tell me what cocktail you want and I'll mix you one later. As you can see, the team is Japanese because Taiko is next door. So I think they even rebranded it to the Taiko bar, but I'm not sure. So thank you to Conservatorium Hotel. Should we jump to a wrist check, Ernie?
Good.
What are you wearing today from your vast collection?
It's a Christian van der Klauw Ariadne.
Cool.
I thought to wear something from a Dutch watchmaster.
Nice.
And because I bought a Speedmaster at Ace and Dik just recently, and ever since I wore my Speedmaster. But especially for this occasion, I thought, well, Speedmaster, everyone knows Speedmaster, and maybe this one is a bit more exclusive for those who don't know the brand yet. And here you see the picture, and I love it. The Christian van der Klauw is a great guy. The old real Christian van der Klauw. We met several times, mostly at Baselworld, and also at Watch 2009. I organized with a good friend of mine. And it was always on my wish list. And a couple of years ago, someone I knew who knew that I was passionate about watches, who owned this one, said, well, I want to buy another watch from Christian van der Klauw, and this one is available. So, well, I didn't hesitate, and I said, okay, name your price, and I'll take it from you. And I'm very happy with it.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
And what are you wearing today?
So I racked my brain. What should I wear for Ernie? And I wore actually 3 watches for you.
Okay.
On my wrist.
Oh, great. Japy.
our shared passion for micro brands.
Yeah, really.
The niche, unique designs. We don't specifically care for just big brands. No. And this has a special meaning for me because you were the first retailer to buy Japy watches from us, as we were the distributor for this French Swiss brand. So,
I think it was the time that we also first met because of Japy.
Correct. And I don't remember the year, but I think it was something like 2003, 4, 5. It should have been.
Could be.
So it had to be a Japy, and I put 2 cufflinks on, which are the sterling silver Ace.
Oh yeah,
cufflink in silver, which you also used to sell.
Yeah. So great.
Those things remind me of Ernie, so that's what I put on today. And before I forget, because we have so much to talk, I want to talk about Watch 2019 because you were one of the first to do watch fairs in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
You retailed as well. And I believe you also have a scoop for us in a bit. So remind me that we talk about that because you went back to entrepreneuring again. But let's go to these 7 questions. And the first one is, what watch or jewel is your favorite and why?
Well, this one is a brain wrecker because I don't know if I really have one favorite watch. I have a couple of watches, and for me, it counts the occasion. And for every watch I own, I can tell a story, and every story is dear to me or reminds me of an occasion. Like I have this Nomos Tangente Expo 2000, which was a limited edition, and I could buy it because my parents gave me some money to buy something to remember them over the years. So that's why this is a special watch. Like I told you, the Christian van der Klauw is a special watch, and so I can tell you about all watches I own, and all have their own story. But I can't pick one watch that is my ultimate favorite.
Okay. That's a
I
good
try.
answer.
I want to try it because sometimes it's good to thin out the collection.
Yeah.
But then I go through the collection and then I see all the watches and I go, oh no, I can't sell this one. No, I can't sell this. And so most of the watches are still in my collection.
Nice. That's nice to hear, because that's a pure collector, and you're actually the first collector on our series, the Ace List Live. We've invited several more, and I believe we'll have a lot of more questions about the art of collecting. What makes you tick? Why are you collecting? Why watches? But to stay on context for this question, do you match watches to your outfit, to your mood, to the occasion you're going to wear them to? What kind of wearer of watches are you? You said you wore the Speedy quite some time in one stretch.
Yep.
So how are you as a collector?
Well,
How do you wear your
I try to match my watches with the clothes I'm wearing, the colors I'm wearing, and if there's an occasion when, for instance, when I go on a holiday, I pick mostly a watch from a small brand.
Yeah.
Also mainly because I'm always a bit of afraid that when you wear an expensive or more expensive watch, that someone will notice and wants to have it without buying it from me. So then I always like this one. I have this one is a Bosquet watch. It's huge and very heavy. It's a dive watch, so I can swim with it. It has a beautiful blue dial. So when I'm on a holiday and in short pants, and so this is more the sporty watch. But when I go on an occasion, like in a suit or somewhere, then I choose my watches comparable to what I'm wearing.
I understand. Okay, thank you
And
for sharing.
sometimes I just put on a watch because I just love that watch and want to wear it despite the clothes I'm wearing.
Yeah. I know the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Second question is, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I had no clue. And I think this is the most difficult question for anyone who is growing up. So what do you want to be? Of course, you can have your hero. When you like race cars, you want to be a Max or Schumacher or whatever, or a hero from the movies. But I literally had no clue. And when I went to school, I had English lessons from a teacher who I really loved because he teaches very well and he had a lot of humor. And then at that point I thought, oh wow, I want to teach too. And then I thought I want to be an English teacher, a teacher who teaches English. But then I switched and I studied for a teacher for primary schools, giving all kinds of lessons.
What was your favorite age to teach? The group, the class?
Oh, definitely the older group, 12 to 18.
12 to 18.
Yeah, those are the most. That's the group that I like the most because they have a vision on life, and they give you feedback. They don't hesitate to give you feedback. So you also know quite quickly if your lessons are good and if you are a good teacher and if you listen to them very well, because that's one of the things they find important. And when I was graduated as a teacher, there weren't many jobs around at the time, and I started to replace teachers who were ill or had other difficulties, and I slowly went to the group of special needs, and well, they have my heart. The children with special needs, mostly behavioral problems. Those are the kids I like the most, and that's why I worked on a school, on one school so long, and that's where I also retired when I became 60 years old.
Compliments, because I think that being a teacher is a very honorable profession. Me myself, I love to share knowledge. That was one of the reasons to start the Ace This Live, because we wanted to share knowledge and passion.
Yeah.
And before I had the honor to become a father, I mentored young entrepreneurs, and I gained a lot of energy and passion from that. I had the honor to stand in front of classrooms several times. So I really appreciate what you've done and did. I have two questions in addition to that. Is it because you are a teacher that you started What You Seek, that you wanted to educate, that you wanted to share passion? And question B, I want to add it to it, and you can decide in what order you answer. Did you ever wanted to be an entrepreneur, or did you become an entrepreneur with What You Seek because it was a necessity to get that platform running?
It was a process in which I entered when I just earlier you spoke about the early days of the internet. Because of my job as a teacher, I was very much interested in the internet. So when the internet was available in the place I live and in the street where I live, I immediately subscribed. Bought me a computer and additional equipment, and I thought, well, maybe something good can come out of this for my lessons. Mm-hmm. But then my passion of watches took over, and that's why I built the links page, because in the early days I wanted to look for watch information. And believe it or not, there was not much you could find. Brands weren't on the internet. Not all the brands had pages at that time. Oh, here you see, this is a very old impression of how What You Seek looked like in those days.
My colleague Dale is helping us in the background, and he's using the Wayback Machine. So it's a time machine for the internet.
Yeah, that's a great job. Being a teacher, interested in what the internet could do, and also my passion of watches and my passion of watches taking over, made me start What You Seek. And I was also interested in forums, and I was specifically interested in the brand like Zenith. I think, but Dale can look it up. I think Zenith was the first forum I ever added to What You Seek.
Cool.
And that was because Zenith and especially Mark Rutlisberger from Zenith gave me entrance to Basel World in the beginning of What You See. And that's why I also became very interested in the brand Zenith and decided to add, here it is, the Zenith Forum. Oh, this looks great. Thank you, Dale. Nice job.
And since we're already on topic, I think you have a little scoop for us. So you sold What You Seek. You retired early from school.
Yeah.
You enjoyed life. You love art. I know you spend a lot of time on art, besides the art of watchmaking, but also contemporary art. Sculpted behind you on the walls. I know. Beautiful dress shirts. I think you want to share a scoop with us, right?
It's a little scoop. I was very happy when I sold What You Seek and got the time to relax and the time for myself and the time to spend with my wife. But the passion of watches is still there, and also the passion of building something on the internet. And first, my daughter wanted to start a company of her own, and I decided to build a website for her. And then I thought, well, if I'm building a website for her, then I also can build a website for myself. And let's see what there is to sell. Maybe something for the designing in the house or whatever. And then only recently, I saw on Instagram a couple of pictures of Ronius watches, which is a brand from Georgia in Europe. And it's an old friend of mine who also advertised on What You Seek in the days, Sviat Tsikolia. He's a designer. And well, I asked him about the watches, and I liked the colors. And then I've asked him, oh, here they are. And then I asked him, can you send me some samples? And well, in the end, I'm getting a watch from each color, which is now shipping from Georgia to the Netherlands. And well, that made me design a new website for Ronius, and not watches, but in Dutch it's called horloges, roniushorloges.nl. And well, let's see what happens. I specifically liked these kind of watches because I also liked Matteo Toon's collection. I don't know if you ever had those Matteo Toons.
No, we didn't.
They were sold in Amsterdam at design time, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And this is something comparable to that. Well, you see those nice colors, and well, it's just another hobby, and well, I hope it turns out to something that works out for everyone who wants a Ronius horloge in the Netherlands and in Belgium.
I want to congratulate you. Amazing website. Good to have you back as an entrepreneur, especially in the watch world. And thank you for sharing that scoop with us. So
thank you for presenting the scoop.
Definitely. So third question we have is, who is your role model?
Well, it may be a dull answer, but I don't actually have a role model.
Yeah,
I could say my late father was my role model, and I think that it counts for every child that in a certain time, in a period of your life, your father is a role model, of course, and also my mother, who took care of me and my brothers for all those long years. But I don't have a role model besides my own family or my father or my mother. I do have huge respect for some people in the world and also in the watch world, but they are not specifically my role model.
Thank you for that. To reverse the story on you, did you aim to be a role model for your pupils, your students?
Well, yeah, sorry.
Were you a teacher that they could come to you and confide in you after school hours, which not all teachers are open to that?
Always. Yeah.
You say of course, but it's not of course.
I invested a lot in having a good relationship with each and every pupil from my class, and later in my role as a team leader, when there was a problem with the teacher and a pupil, I was always there to listen and to help and to talk with the pupils, and of course with to my colleagues. Now I think that is one of the most important things in life. Is to have a good relationship with the one you live with or you work with, and that goes for the watch industry as well. The main thing I liked the most from going, for example, to Baselworld is of course seeing all those new releases and having the watches in your hand and trying on the wrist, etc. But for me and for my wife, who always accompanied me, it was also very important to have a very good relationship with the PR people or with the CEO of the brand, and of course with the colleagues that walked around. And well, that if you don't have that, then you can of course do your job, but I don't think you can do your job that good if you forget about establishing a good relationship.
I agree with you, and your reputations always preceded both Jacqueline and you, and still today, you guys are known for that. And I think the first and foremost thing that people recall when they think about you guys is the friendliness and the jolliness, and that's what I said with the intro that I'm sitting here. It's always a true joy to meet and speak with you guys. So yeah, I agree with you.
Thanks.
Fourth question: if you could teleport tomorrow, where would you go?
Italy. Short. I could think of all kinds of things, going to the moon or going to Mars, but I really want to go to Italy again. And with the COVID-19 and all the troubles in the world, my wife and I haven't traveled outside the Netherlands this year. But Italy is definitely on top of our list.
And specifically, where do you guys love in Italy the most?
Well, we enjoyed Toscana. We enjoyed Toscana. We enjoyed Umbria. We enjoyed Marche, but also north of Italy. But Toscana has a special place in our heart because we were there when our children were small, and we met with an Italian family who run a couple of apartments on top of a mountain, and we really have great memories about the time, and we really want to visit them again. So I think the first travel to Italy will be to Toscana, and if everything will stay calm, COVID-19 considered, we will be in Italy in May next year, because my next door neighbor imports Italian wines.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the fine vineyards is the vineyard from Sting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we go there and have a tour around his vineyard. And
nice.
Unfortunately, he will not be there. I would have loved that, but it will be an experience, I think. So Italy.
Okay.
And you?
Nice.
There are people behind you. Look out.
They're coming to make the cocktails for us.
Yeah, okay.
Ciao. Hi. All right, so 5th question.
Yeah.
What book are you currently reading?
Well,
I know you love books.
I'm not much of a reader, sorry. So I don't...
I don't believe that. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, no, really, I don't read books. I just can't keep my eyes on all those pages. But I do read the magazines, and the one I still have to read because I was on a holiday last week is still lying here. The Watching, you know, the Dutch magazine from Baerlestraat. That's what I still want to read, and I read magazines about cars, etc. But a book, it's hard for me to read a book. Sorry.
Okay, so bonus question, the $1 million question. Do you still read whatyousseek.com?
It's been a while since I visited What You Seek, and the last time I visited it was when I was notified about the change in software, and that's when I had a look. And after that, I haven't visited anymore. No, I don't visit watch forums generally no longer. I do read the blogs.
Yeah.
Especially the one from Albert-Jan, Fratello Watches, and sometimes Hodinkee or monochrome watches, but that's about it.
Okay. Thank you for that. 6th question is, what do you think is going to be the color of 2021? Because I know you love colors.
I love colors. Well, I thought a lot about this question because now it's green. We had, of course, blue. But my wish for 2021 and the years after is let us have all the colors of the rainbow, please. So that may be a safe answer, but it is an answer. It's an honest answer. I truly believe we need all the colors we have available.
And it's happening, isn't it? It's happening because I don't know if you saw that special limited edition Nomos made for a good cause to support the LGBTQ community. So it's actually happening, which is a good thing. And not just dials and not straps, also case materials. And so, yeah, I agree with you. It's
Thank
nice. Last question. It's rhetorical. Obviously, you've been to Amsterdam. You just said it.
Yeah.
What are your favorite memories of our capital?
I have a lot. Every time I go to Amsterdam for a short break or just for a daily visit, I always bring memories back, and that's when I visit the art museums like the Rijksmuseum or the Stedelijk Museum. But I also can enjoy just walking around the Amsterdam streets and have a look at the canals. And my very last and recent memory is, of course, visiting you.
I didn't pay you to say that.
Sorry?
I didn't pay you to say that.
Oh, no. You don't pay me at all. So everything I say is is free. No, but that's the last memory, and it's also a fond memory because it was a long time that we saw each other in real life, and you really took the time to come to Ace Dik because it was on a day that you weren't there, and you had to sit with us, and especially with my son because we thought it would be nice to offer him a watch as a gift. For his wedding, and well, luckily he found a beautiful Omega at your store, and he is very happy with that, and he's very proud because every time I see him and he has it on his wrist, he shows it to me, and I'm really happy that he wanted this gift from us, and that he likes it so much, and that we had the opportunity to find the right watch at your place.
Yeah, thank you for the honor, and it makes it full circle with the start of watch collecting, because it's actually you collect memories, and for us as jewelers, it's a very honorable profession that we may be part of that journey of getting there, researching, selecting, and actually be present at that
but
moment.
It's also about what I said earlier. It's also about the relationships and the trust you have in each other. And because we have a jeweler here in the town I live, and I could go there, but being longtime friends gives it a special dimension.
Yeah,
that's what I like most.
Yeah. I think that's the most beautiful thing of our profession is the trust and the relationships, the fun we have, to be part of these beautiful occasions. And I want to make a shout out to your son Dan, which he actually, you're a celebrity, but in the watch world, unfortunately, but he's a global celebrity, because he's actually a world famous DJ, and his stage name is Danik, so Dannic, correct?
It's called Danik, yeah,
Danik.
Danik, yeah.
A wordplay on his name Dan. And I highly recommend people to find him on Spotify, on Apple Music, YouTube, whatever, or live on stage as soon as he can spin again.
Yeah.
So shout out to him, and compliments to you as a father, a mother, a mentor, because he's very, very modest and friendly like you.
Thank you very much.
So I want to have that said for a celeb that he is. So those were the questions, Ernie. Thank you so much. We're already halfway the show. I know there are a lot of people watching and eager to ask questions. Before I give them the stage.
Okay.
I think you already, while we were running through the 7 questions, you answered why you started What You Seek. What you did. I didn't even mention that you also basically had an online magazine. It wasn't just links. It wasn't just a forum. It was also a shop. It was very hybrid. You're actually also a publication, basically. Maybe a question I have for you: what were the finest memories for you of that journey? What stood out for you now in retrospect when you look back?
There are a couple. The one that I'm really proud of is that I managed to build What You Seek to the most visited watch forum on the internet in the time. But I'm also very proud and happy to know that a lot of people worked for What You Seek, who run forums, who help me behind the scenes to improve the site, and also the many subscribers to the forums who stay there for maybe up to date. So there is much to be proud of.
Mhm.
But basically, I'm the most proud of having putting something on the internet which is still there today, and which grew to be the one, well, maybe most visited or the number one of the internet in terms of forums, because the blogs, etc., are of course another part of the watch online world.
Amazing. Could be it could be that I'm taking the wind out of the sails of some of the viewers' questions. Maybe, although you're very young at heart, you're a veteran in the industry. Maybe a tip before we go to the questions for our younger viewers or people who are new to watch collecting. What tip or tips would you give them when starting to collect? Is that a good question?
That's a very good question, and I can only take myself as the example. How I started collecting. It's like collecting anything else. Only buy or get the things you really, really get passionate about. So if you see whatever art or a new car or a new bench for your home or a watch, buy the one you like. Don't buy it immediately. Maybe think about it for a day and then go back and have another look at it. But when it is appealing again for you, then buy the watch you like. Don't buy the watch people tell you to. Because that could be wrong, because you are the one who will be going to wear the watch. And so the main thing is, first like the watch you see, and then buy and wear it. And then, and if you start a collection, it's the same. Never listen to people who say, "Well, you've got to have a tourbillon in your collection." Now, a tourbillon is of course a very expensive complication in a watch, but don't listen to them and go buy such a watch. But first, read about it, look at it, and if it really appeals to you, then put it in your collection.
Okay, so let's jump on that. If you get a spark of that passion for watchmaking, could be an advertisement. Today, nowadays, it's mostly online, maybe, especially for younger generation. It's actually intimidating in the vast availability and collections of and brands out there. How would you advise people to go about to acquire knowledge and data and information to go on that journey to discover what you like? Because there's so much out there. So how would you obtain that information today, Ernie? So you read a magazine physically and online, right? You mentioned titles. What would you advise a newbie?
I would advise a newbie. I think a newbie already has done some searching on the internet. But the main advice I would give him is, or her, go to a jeweler, go to a watch dealer, sit down, look at the watches, let the dealer explain the watch, let him tell you about how to wear it, how to maintain it, and then make a decision. Of course, I mentioned a couple of online blogs and magazines and etc. These are all very good knowledge-based, and the special advantage of those blogs are that they have reviews, and also it would be important to read reviews. I hope they are all independent reviews, of course, but gather as much as information. But once that you have decided that you want a watch, go to a dealer, have a good look, and have the dealer explain about the watch you really like.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So one last thing that popped into my mind, I wanted to speak about the watch events, because one of the reasons you started that company was another entrepreneurial endeavor you started was, I guess, also to bridge the gap between digital and physical. And what I think you guys innovated back in the day was there was a strong focus on independence that
Yeah.
didn't have a widely retail network, or so if people couldn't follow the advice you're actually giving right now, is to go physically see a dealer or a jeweler and get advice. Um, I would briefly want to know why you did it, how it was, and what your opinion is today on the huge, I would even call it crisis, besides the COVID-19 problems that Basel World is enduring, and what your view is on that, please.
Well, the troubles at Basel World is oh, here we have the castle.
Yeah.
This is from watch 2008. Watch 2000. Oh, I'm young there. Well, the reason we did the watch fairs in Maastricht in the Netherlands was to give the independents a podium, which was very successful for them, and even brands like JS Watch from Reykjavik, Iceland, joined us there.
I remember.
Yeah, well, the problem at the time, and maybe it is now even worse, but independents don't have the money the bigger brands have, so they always are looking for platforms to broadcast their new collection or the new watch or whatever new they have. That's something we spoke about that earlier. That's something I always liked about the independents, and give them a platform. And saying about go to a watch dealer and have a look at the physical watch is, of course, troublesome when you want to have an independent who isn't listed at a watch dealer. So then you have to find other ways, and sometimes it can only be done online, of course. Oh, here is Stefan Kudoke from Germany. Oh no, Jörg Schauer is this.
Yeah.
Beautiful, with Benzinger. Oh, there's Bernard.
So do you think that in a post-COVID world, we'll see a rebound of fairs like yours, but also the iconic Basel World? Or do you think that things have changed in such a manner that we'll see other ways of consuming watches, like, and I mean purchasing? Here's our friend Bernard of Watching Magazine.
Yeah. No, I think fairs like Basel World won't be back. I think the brands are looking for different ways to reach out to the customers. Mm-hmm. I do think that smaller fairs for consumers, like Watch 2008, Watch 2009, but there was also a new watch fair in the Netherlands where Bernard Werk was one of the organizers. Smaller gatherings, they will still be there, I hope, and the brands will reach out to consumers, I think, with their own events. And of course, also with all kinds of new online marketing tools. Okay. But Basel World is well, it's a problem. I think I don't know how it is for you, because you are a dealer, and Basel World was not mainly a consumer fair, but mostly a B2B fair. So I don't know how troublesome it is for you to see a new collection and to decide what collection you want to buy. Is that a problem for you, or are there other ways for you
on a personal level, on an interpersonal level? Although I'm very tech savvy and I love technology, I'm very, very old school. I believe humans have a need to connect, yeah. And the most beautiful thing is personal connection. So that will never go away. For me personally, I love these fairs because you would meet up friends from all over the world, old friends, and you would make new friends.
Yeah.
And there was this sense of brotherhood, I think, amongst all different kinds of players. So that's what I love about fairs. Then on a professional level, it's a big problem because what do I now need for, let's say we represent 20 brands, let's say, I'm saying this, just making up a number. Do I need to now go to 20 separate events that they organize globally? Um, and things are getting substituted now definitely by digital tools, and it's still, it nothing beats holding a product in your hands, the weight, three-dimensional, see the real colors.
Yeah.
So that will never go away. So do I miss it? Hell yes.
Yeah, me too.
Why does it cause problems? Problems not the right word, but is it convenient? No. And more importantly, we talked about why you organized the watch event, to discover novelties. So what I enjoyed most, besides meeting up old friends and making new friends and sharing thoughts and ideas and brainstorm and then just have fun, was to discover new brands. And you were a pioneer again. You have a Nomos from the years 2000. So you've been owning Nomos for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've been in love with Nomos over a decade, but we're only a retailer 3 years. And we've been stalking them in all communication ways that I could. But in the end, Basel World did it. We sat face to face. It clicked. There was a spark. There was passion. We fell in love with each other. And that's not even discovering a new brand, but just stroll halls and discover new things. That's the most beautiful thing of a fair. And I think that will never go away. I think Basel will come back. I think they'll come back with a vengeance. They'll rise as a phoenix out of the ashes. Because what people forget is we don't just buy watches. We design jewelry. So I need gemstones. I need techniques to make new jewelry. I want to discover jewelry, new brands. And I think that will be the survival of Basel World, which today is called Your Time, or I don't know. I didn't like the new name they created, but I think it's called Your Time. And well, Watches and Wonders will definitely survive and will be stronger. And they'll come back with a vengeance because they have 5 new brands on board. So, and I think that the catalyst of COVID now is that we yearn for physical contact. So that's my personal opinion. But we're not here to talk about me and my views. Let's now, because we're slowly running out of time, let's jump to our viewers. Okay, Ernie?
Yeah, great.
So I'm jumping quickly through them. Wouter Tegen on Facebook writes, what a wonderful guys together. Thank you, Wouter, for joining us. Young collector, by the way. Another young collector, Koen Simon. Says, hi, Jen. These guys are popping comments. Okay. See their buddies. Koen writes, Ernie's a legend on Facebook. It was really a trial and error back day. Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was. And I didn't even mention that in 2005, I had already built up a huge platform with many forums, and in 2005, the hard drive I still had on a shared server just crashed, and I could start all over again.
So linking to that comment, Wouter says, wow, insane to see the old design. So he posted this comment real time while we were showing the time machine. You started, I don't remember Wouter's age. I'm sorry, Wouter, but you're probably around 20-ish. So then I'm feeling old because I still remember programming HTML and BBS and bulletin boards and dial-up modems. It's cool to see how these millennials, and maybe he's even Gen Z, Generation Z, responds to that. So Koen obviously is Dutch and he loves a Dutch watch. Okay. He comments on your Van der Klauw watches. We have Dan, occasionally like things, on YouTube writes, if you both had to trade a watch in your collection, which with each other for a wear expansion, which watch would be? Good question, Dan. Okay, interesting. So Ernie, you go first.
Well, I'm already thinking about what I think I would give you an Anonimo watch, the real old Anonimo brand watch,
Yeah,
just to wear. Yeah,
amazing. Which I would love to wear. I don't know if you remember that back in 2006, we almost became the distributors for Anonimo. So we share that passion for the Firenze brand of Italian design.
yeah.
If I had to give you one, actually, I would have given you many. Um, the most contemporary modern one would be the Ulysse Nardin Freak X.
Oh yeah.
I think you would have enjoyed wearing that very much. And going from super modern, contemporary, extreme design, I would also lend you my Nomos Lambda in pink gold, because that's maybe the most elegant and less is more design out there. And I think you appreciate that well. And I think we share that vast horizon of designs. I think
But
you and I are rather extreme in our tastes.
but I have to warn you, if you lend me that Lamba,
Yeah,
you
I
can
won't get it back.
yeah you won't get it back. That was one watch I had on my wish list for a couple of years, and then well I moved on. But that I love that watch. It's beautiful. But back to the question and answering to Dan occasionally like things. I would probably not just choose one myself, but have a sit with Alon and have a look at the collection, and then had him choose the one he wanted to wear for a couple of days or weeks.
That shows again how much of a gentleman you are. But I like Dan's question.
Yeah,
He forced us to tell a story. So good on you, Dan. Thank you so much
yeah.
for asking that question. And if I'm not mistaken, we are friends by proxy because we share a mutual friend. And if I remember correctly, he says that you guys do a Instagram live chat weekly. If so, please share that in the comments with us. Kentaro, he's a member of the Watch 4 crew, a Dutch crew of collectors, asks on YouTube, why is there no, in brackets, lesser love for the reduced Omega Speedmaster? Good question. Ernie, you want to answer?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have a love for the reduced Omega Speedmaster because back in the days when I started with the forum, I once considered owning a reduced Omega Speedmaster. If I would buy it today, I guess not, because I don't like the smaller watches. I like the more bigger watches. 41, 42 is the one for me. Yeah, here we have it. But I don't know why. I think it's also because of the huge passion for the Speedmaster and all the owners that don't have the reduced Omega Speedmaster and almost always talk about the original and classical Speedmasters. I'm not sure what you think, Alon.
I can talk for an hour about it, but we have many more questions to answer in the 6 minutes that are left. But very briefly, Kentaro, it's because the Omega is so legendary as a moonwatch, and the moonwatch was hand wound, and they didn't use automatic calibers later in time after 69 when they were developed because of the lack of gravity. And the reduced that we just shown on screen is an automatic version. That's why I think it's less commercial. And the today versions, the modern versions, because the one that was on screen is not in production for a long time already. They're new reduced Speedmaster at 38 millimeters, but they're automatic. And it's NK size-wise, and I think it's because of the caliber. So I think that's my very brief answer. But thank you for asking, Kentao. I know you're going to visit us soon with your crew. We can dive deeper on that question later. Koen is on fire. He's shooting a lot of questions at us, but actually this one we already discussed. So I hope your question is answered, Koen. We have Bus Deckers on Facebook writes, what is, in your humble opinion, the material for the future? Titanium I like, but the new ceramic or palladium? Question mark.
Well, I think it's for me it's hard to question this particular one. I do like the titanium, but it comes to the design of the watch. I prefer the steel watches because I like the weight of a watch, and titanium is always less of weight, of course. Ceramic has already been used by many brands in the watches, and I think that is a stayer. But I'm not sure. I don't know what the material from the future will look like. I think that's basically also a question for the true expert here on stage, and that's for Alon, because he handles all kinds of watches in his store and elsewhere. So maybe you can dig deeper in this question, Alon.
I can, and thank you so much for giving me so much screen time, Ernie. I want to reserve this answer. Bas and I are friends on Facebook, so we can have a private dialogue. We can do it publicly, and we can even do it maybe on a panel discussion. That's a question for all the viewers. Should we do an Ace List Live with more guests and even create a panel discussion? So that's a counter question that I'm asking. I want to do, we have many more, and maybe Ernie, if you're up to it and you enjoyed this session, I would love you to have you back on the show, either in season 1 or in 2021 in season 2. Just one last one. This is William, I think a mutual friend of ours. He writes on YouTube, I loved your shows in the old days, meeting those great independent watch designers and makers. Thank you, Ernie, so much for those nice memories.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, William, for sharing that with us.
Thank you very much.
Bas replies real time, perfect, works for me. Awesome, Bas. So hereby a commitment to do a panel discussion. Koen keeps coming. Koen, I'm sorry we couldn't answer all your questions, so maybe we can do it in writing or a next live session. Thank you so much, Ernie, for taking the time to sit down with us.
Thank you, Alan.
I really enjoyed it, as always. Thank you for all the viewers, for all your questions. Next week, you're definitely going to enjoy as well. Exactly a week from now at noon, we're having Rob Nuts on the show. He's the managing editor of Fratello Watches, and he's actually a watchmaker. And he challenges Robert Jan and the whole crew, so that promises to be a fun show.
Yeah.
So tune in, and thank you so much, everyone.
And thank you all.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, my friend.
Bye-bye.